What's good, Josh Hoover? I'm your guide Q, and today we're dipping our toes back into the female dating strategy community, specifically looking at this post, beware of how he compliments you, in the category scrote nonsense. Now, scrote's like a derogatory term for guys. There's a section on the website called scrote's mad, like hose mad, kind of an equivalent there. But let's check out what's going on here, because I guess certain compliments might be red flags you have to look out for to identify a low value male. There are certain personality traits that LVM, low value males, seek and prey on, and they will offer compliments to ensure you continue exhibiting said traits. These personality traits by themselves are not bad by any means. In fact, some of these are high value traits. However, low value male will focus on what he gets out of those traits rather than appreciating them as a part of the person he loves. These compliments will masquerade themselves as praise for your good qualities, but the real purpose for them is to manipulate you into leaning into that trait for his benefit. I'm not saying that a man is immediately low value if he gives you any compliment from here, but it could be a reminder to check if he appreciates all of you and not just the parts he benefits from. I've grouped common compliments and linked them to a certain archetype of LVM prone to saying them. Number 1, Mr. Boohoo Sad Boy. You're so understanding. You get me more than anyone else does. You are caring. You stick by me. You're the only good thing in my life. Likely victims, women that are naturally caring or have a strong nurturing side. Barbara the Builders, women that value loyalty, ride or die culture, or otherwise crave intimacy and closeness. Translation: you put up with my mood swings, perpetual unemployment, foul temper, addictions, tantrums, or untreated mental illness. I can do anything I want and treat you like trash, and you'll forgive me and give the benefit of the doubt. If you ever stop showing these qualities, I will make you feel selfish and uncaring. You'll never catch a break emotionally because I'm having a crisis every week and will expect you to drop everything and be there no matter what. No, therapy doesn't work on me, I'm too special. As mentioned before, being understanding, caring, and loyal are good qualities to have. However, if this is all he compliments you for, he is setting you up to define yourself as his emotional punching bag. This is also a behavior in the cycle of abuse, where after he hurts you, he will cry and praise you for sticking by him. This implants a belief in your head that all the suffering is worth it because you're the special one that will stay with him when no one else has. Spoiler, there's a reason that nobody stays with him. I don't know, please give me your thoughts, but to me, right off the bat, I just feel like the framing and the premise of this article is just sort of, I don't know, dishonest and clickbaity because they're putting so much emphasis on the compliments themselves being red flags, where I think that only one of these compliments is a red flag, and that's you're the only good thing in my life, because it just puts way too much like unnecessary pressure on a person to like continue supporting you fully as the only good thing in their life. And aside from that compliment specifically being problematic, I feel like the title just does not align with the content of the article, because the content is telling me, oh, there are actual behavioral red flags that you should be looking out for, like mood swings, perpetual unemployment, foul temper, addictions, tantrums, untreated mental illness. Like, those are the real issues, and then the compliments are just a cover-up. So I don't understand how the compliments are this big key to seeing the issue when the behavior should be your tip-off to seeing the issue. I don't know, let's continue. Low value male category number 2, the manchild. Even though it's labeled number 1, like every other category on this post, this article is completely unreadable. The manchild might say things like, you keep me in check, you call me out on my shit, if it weren't for you, I would still be in some kind of trouble or dark place, you're strong and can handle a lot, you calm me down like no one else. Likely victims, women that have type A personalities, Barbara the Builders, women that are generally assertive and ambitious and have a habit of wanting to be in control and used to managing many things. The type to work full-time and grudgingly do all the housework because their low-value male husband did it wrong on purpose. Translation: I have no agency or ambition as a person. Nothing is ever my fault or my responsibility. I probably have a victim mentality and nothing is ever my doing, but only things happening to me. I will get mad if you don't remind me to do basic adult things. But if anything goes wrong, I will blame you because I only did it because you wanted me to. Some men will talk about their wife/GF keeping them in check to paint the image of a humbled man that listens to his wise, all-knowing wife. The reality is that he's probably a mouthy dickhead with no self-restraint or tact, and his poor wife deals with the social consequences of his pig-headedness and associated dipshittery. It's normal for both people to keep each other in check sometimes, but if that's the compliment he chooses for you, it says, I am too feeble-minded to hold standards for myself and expect my wife to mother me. He could have said she's responsible, smart, and says what needs to be said, but instead he has to center himself and what he gets. I am begging people who date someone who says these sorts of things, or people who might say these sorts of things in their relationships, let me know what your experience is, but to me this one falls apart so fucking quickly because I feel like the translation here is just such a far reach. Like, all of these statements, pretty much all of them at least, are just acknowledging that we can be flawed people and not always have the insight on what's going on in our lives, and it's helpful to have another person who isn't afraid to point that out. Like, I feel like these are such good compliments to give a person, and yeah, they could be a tool of manipulation, but I feel like a lot of times these are just giving the person the credit that's due for giving a good outside perspective when somebody might not be able to find that themselves. I really don't get what the complaint is here. Low value male type number 3, the pick-me fisherman. They might say things like, I feel like I can really be myself around you. I don't have to try when I'm with you. I like that you don't expect me to be something I'm not. You're not my usual type, therefore you must be something special. You're low maintenance. You're easy to talk to. Likely victims. Pick-me's that pride themselves on not being like other girls, women drawn to avoidant men, women that crave the intimacy and comfort of a secure relationship, but mistake laziness and low effort as security. Translation, you're not my dream girl, you were simply just there. I can put minimal effort into you and you'll stay. I don't need to moderate myself to be considerate of your feelings, make an effort to look nice, or do anything sweet because you're not worth it for me, and I know you'll stay anyway. I might do all of these things for my dream girl for a time, but I'm always down to sleep with you. Although I praise you for being low maintenance, or not being my usual type, I will gawk at and jerk it to highly maintained and done up women that are my type on Instagram. I'll also definitely forget your birthday every time, and if you kick up a fuss, I'll whine about how much of a burden it is to meet the bare minimum expectations and reiterate that you're only special to me because you don't hold me to any standards. It's all in the definition. When you describe an item as low maintenance, you can put less effort into taking care of it, and it will still do what you need it for. Why is it a good thing when you call a person low maintenance? This type of loser is defined by his incessant need to put in as little effort as possible for every aspect of his life. He is also catnip for women attracted to emotionally unavailable men. At some point in a relationship, you should be getting more comfortable to a degree, but you should also be making each other better. If you have a growth mindset and look to improve yourself, don't chain yourself to a stagnant, dullard type of a person that mopes over the slightest suggestion to be better. This is just so much misattribution of specific traits to statements that a person can say. Like, I feel like the biggest issue of a compliment here is maybe you're not my usual type, especially if it's like aesthetically, as that can just sound mean and like someone has settled for you, and I get how that could be an issue. But statements like, I feel like I can really be myself around you, I don't have to try when I'm with you, I like that you don't expect me to be something I'm not, and you're easy to talk to, while they could be attributed to some lazy loser who doesn't want to participate in society at all and never wants to change, they can also very easily be attributed to someone who has had relationship experience in the past where they felt like they needed to be a fake version of themselves. For example, let's say that somebody's like kind of naturally overtly loud and goofy, but when they show those traits, their partner's like, oh my god, calm down, dude, you're embarrassing yourself. Like, they might stick with that relationship and be like, oh no, maybe I shouldn't be goofy, maybe that's a negative trait, but then when the relationship is over, they realize they were like masking their true identity the whole time, and now that they're with you and they can be goofy and loud and you like it, you laugh along with them. Like, why is that a negative thing? I understand that not everybody that says that has a situation like this, but also not everybody that says these compliments is just some fucking degenerate loser who spends all their time in the basement eating Doritos and Mountain Dew. And to be fair, they do add some qualifications at the very, very end of this article. These compliments given to you could also be true. Maybe you are understanding. You are easy to talk to. You do stick by those you love. You do speak up when someone's wrong. You're also more than qualities that benefit him. What these compliments all have in common is that it's all about him in the way he frames it. Self-centered and self-serving. The purpose of this post isn't to erase these traits, but to spot users and manipulations pretending to praise your virtues so that they may extract the benefits. Give those benefits to yourself and to someone that reciprocates and appreciates you for you. Now, if I'm gonna give like the best faith interpretation possible of what they're trying to say here, they only may want you to use these compliments as red flags if they're in the context of an already bad relationship. But if you're already in a bad relationship and you acknowledge that, then maybe you don't need these compliments to be your red flag, just use the behaviors themselves. But in general, I feel like this article only exists to clickbait by giving people a new set of red flags to look out to because, oh, compliments are a good thing, how they can actually be manipulative. And compliments can absolutely be manipulative. I just think this article is also manipulative in the way that they provide their own direct translation of what these statements actually mean. On this one, I really, really need your thoughts and opinions because I don't want to be giving the only perspective. I would love to be challenged or have people add additional insight to this situation. We've got the story of a guy whose wife would not let him upstairs in their own house on top, and incel pickup lines on bottom. Lovely channel members to the left and right. Hope you guys are skating on to the best of your abilities, drinking a sufficient amount of water, and I'll see you super soon. Peace out, Cub Scouts.